I want to bring somebody on here who has been consistently doing this for the last 20 plus years. I'm not going to say how long. If he wants to say that's fine. I'm not that old, but he's the one that brought me into this business. I'm forever grateful for him just popping his head up over a cubicle one day and then just asking me if I wanted to make some money. And I was all about it because I knew Alex and Jenny Abraham were people that I could follow and that were going somewhere. And I knew that if I was going to change my situation, I needed to follow somebody that had the character and the credibility and the work ethic to follow, right? Why would you want to follow somebody that doesn't have those things? So help me welcome on to this call, my buddy, my best friend, Alex Abion. Are you out there, my buddy?
Hey, Noel, how
There
you
you are.
doing?
You. Hi.
I love that. Thank you so much
Great.
for such a kind intro.
I'm gonna let you rip too. If
Oh,
anybody's got any questions, you can put them in the chat. Or do you care if people open up their lines, Alex? If they've
I
got
don't
any
care. Absolutely, I'm
care,
wide
open
open.
up.
I'm here to serve. So,
We're gonna
ever I
let it
may
roll.
serve, I will. Cool, awesome. And can you make sure the share's open? Because I'm the master of PowerPoint. So
Yeah, you are.
this is
I think Sherry's already got you hooked up.
oh
You
yay, awesome, awesome. Well, thanks, Noel. What an honor to speak to people on the Leventovich team. And anything I can do to earn my glow bonus, any little thing I can do, I'm happy to do. Not that I feel guilty at all.
you're earning it, and I'm grateful that you are. I mean, seriously,
Well,
you earned it a long time ago.
you know, those years ago when Noelle, when I asked Noelle into the business, I always remember her story about how she used to work at Skyline Chili putting cheese in the little baggies for the takeout. And I just always think of her like I feel like I rescued her from that, although she was in the recruiting business with me. I'll always remember her talking about how she was just so not fired up being at Skyline Chili doing that. So, no, well, that's just every time I go into Skyline, because I love Skyline Chili, I always think of you and where we picked you up from the rag heap of Skyline Chili minimum wage workers. But
We did.
when I see the impact of the paychecks that are going on the Leventovich organization, it's like, man, the ripple effect, right? The ripple effect of our lives, that we've intertwined over years. And, without Mike and Noel, none of y'all will be on this call. None of y'all will be in the business. It's weird to think about that. And without Andy Albright introducing me to the business, none of my entire team would be. So anyway, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. Grateful that Noel asked me to be on here. I guess I'm the granddaddy. I'm the granddaddy of the Leventovich organization. So you can look at me as that. Although I did have a hip replacement, so I guess I'm getting closer to becoming that granddaddy. It was hilarious that part of the recovery I had to be on a walker, Noel, for 2 weeks. And I always make that joke about, do you want to be in this business till you're 80 years old and you're getting on your walker, going up to someone's house, knocking on the door, and then you hear them say shh, because you have your hearing aids like super sensitive, and you hear them saying shh, don't open it, it's the insurance guy. And then I talk about throwing the walker through the window. Every time I was on that walker, I'm thinking, man, I'm starting to become that old guy. But here's the cool thing. I don't have to go to anyone's house to get no-showed ever again for the rest of my natural life. Is that cool? And the reason why that is for a long time is because I don't have to sell anymore. Not that I hate selling, but I hated dialing. I hated getting no-showed. That's the part I hated the most. I mean, I wanted to burn their house down when I got no-showed. It's like, dadgummit, you know. So I learned how to double book my appointments so I would no-show them. I'd rather no-show them than them no-show me. But, it's like, thank God I don't have to live the rest of my life always wondering if someone's going to be home. Or, now we're doing telesales and calling, and wondering if they're going to pick up the dadgum phone. You know what I mean? Like, look, I love to sell. I loved selling when I was in the field, but there's parts of it I hated. It was one of those things where, yeah, man, you can't love every aspect of what you're doing. Like, look at your spouse, right? Look at you. Anyway, I'm not going to go there, but Ginny is perfect. So, Noelle, you can tell her I said this on national call, 60 plus people, that Jeannie's perfect. I'm the one that needs work. Okay. So, anyway, what was I supposed to talk about again? I forgot. Oh, okay. Something about why recruit, right? Why recruit? Well, gang, there's a lot of reasons. I'm going to go over this. And, why do I put PowerPoints together? Because it helps me articulate what I want to say. But probably more than anything, it helps keep me on track so I don't stray. Because I've been known to stray like crazy. And, now we're like going to be 3 hours into a 20-minute talk. And so for your sakes and mine, it keeps me on track. And then, people sometimes are visual type people, and sometimes they appeal to that. But let's get into this. So Noelle asked me, why recruit? And it was a little bit of what I shared at the Leventovich boot camp, which I always loved doing the Leventovich boot camp. They just, they have they do the best boot camps, because we did bourbon tasting after. And it's like, that was worth the price of admission. That was worth building the business for these 25 years, when I got in when I was in kindergarten with Gina Hawks. But anyway, why recruit? Well, let's give you just a few reasons. I think hopefully, these reasons may resonate with you. They resonated with me and Noelle and Mike. Great lifestyle. Gang, lifestyle is time and money. It's having time to do what you want to do when you want to do it, and the money to be able to do it, right? Now, you can't get away from building and recruiting, but wouldn't it be great to have no more worries about money? Like, raise your hand in your mind. If you never want to have to worry about money coming in because you're getting paid Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on business that you did not write yourself, you were, I'm not going to describe my lifestyle because it'd make you really mad, but you weren't responsible for those direct sales. You have a whole bunch of agents. To me, that's so awesome. And you can also have choices to spend the time the way you didn't know you could spend it, decisions that you have to make. For example, when my wife Jenny was diagnosed with cancer in 2018, I was able to be with her 100% of the time. I actually missed my first function, my first event, because she had cancer surgery to do a double mastectomy because she had diagnosed with breast cancer. And but that was like the only function I missed. And I was told that I better not come or else I'd get fired by Miss Jane Albright. And because I was thinking some way, okay, I could have someone stay with Jenny for a few hours while I fly down there and fly back, just so I did miss a function. Well, Jane threatened me, so I listened to my upline. Anyway, time and money, man. Imagine having to make that decision, a decision I never knew I had to make, because when I got in, I just wanted time, money, and freedom. And you're going to have so many more decisions that you didn't know you could make, like moving into a big-ass house, okay, like Jake and Veray. Gosh, that house rocks. I mean, it's like, man, I love that place, and I can't wait to see it. Anyway, I know it's going to be a big deal at NatCon, but decisions. What decisions do you want to make in your future? What decisions will you not have to make because you're worried about money? Imagine never having to make a money-based decision because you have plenty of it coming in, that those decisions are no longer something you worry about. Like, imagine that kind of lifestyle. That's what we're talking about. And really the only way to do it is by building a team, honestly. I call this insurance on your income. Like, why do we talk about life insurance? It's to protect people from tragedy when they're no longer able to provide for their families. Well, what if you got cancer and was out of the field for 6 months? Can you still provide for your family? If you're only selling, the answer is no, you can't. In other words, that's the definition of having a business. Can the business go on without you and you're still making the money, right? How many of y'all can say that, right? And even if you're making, $11,000 a week, how much of that 11,000 is based on your personal production? If it's like 25%, 30%, 80%, you're still going to lose money. You're still not going to be able to make all the money. Again, it's insurance on your income when you don't have to worry about you having to do it all. So everyone on this call, if 100% of your money that's coming in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are all on override income, then you have a business. If 100%, if it's anything less than 100%, I'm sorry to tell you this. I'm sorry to break the news to you, but you ain't got a business. Okay, you ain't got a business. That's Kentuckian for all y'all that don't know, because I'm speaking in Noelle's language now that she's been in Kentucky for a while. Another reason, go from owning your own job to owning your own life. Man, that is so true, gang. That's so dadgum true. Owning your own job, because that's what you are. Well, Alex, I'm an independent business owner. It's like, dude, really? Come on, man. Let's be real, okay? You own your own job. Again, I ask you the question, if you could no longer produce, is money still coming into your house based on you? Answer that question in your own mind. Well, my spouse is working, she makes a lot of money, or he makes a lot of money, and I got on his health care. God bless you. Well, what if your spouse got sick and he could no longer work? He gets fired or she gets fired. Sorry to say, you don't own your own life, man. That boss owns your own life, owns your life. Are you going to sell till you retire? Are you going to sell after quote unquote 67, the age of retirement? I don't know, it's up to you. See, what we're going to show you today is a way to get out of that situation. You got to figure it out. Look, if you love selling, God bless you. Go continue to sell. I am not in any way, shape, or form telling you that sales sucks and you should stop selling. No, please don't, because someone has to sell something to somebody. Okay. I'm just wanting to give you an exit strategy where your long-term goal, your vision for yourself is having a lifestyle of time and money where your income is no longer dependent on you going out to sell insurance to someone. Okay. Once you figure out that vision for yourself of having that kind of tremendous lifestyle through the alliance business, then all bets are off. Katie barred the door, because you're going to go after this thing just like Mike and Noelle did. Thank the Lord. Praise God. Right? So now the question is, in your mind saying, man, I'd love to have a business like that. Well, why would you want to do it with us, the Alliance? There's a lot of reasons, and I know you guys are on here because you're part of us already, but like pretend you're not. Sometimes we take the Alliance for granted. Like some of y'all are so brand new that you came into the insurance through the Alliance and you think, oh, all IMOs must be like the Alliance. No, not all of them are like, none of them are like the Alliance. The Alliance is the big deal, gang. It is the big deal. This is the goose that laid the golden egg. You're not going to find this anywhere, I promise you. So I'm going to try to help you understand this idea that we've got the best program, man. So show me the money, okay? Just like Tom Cruise says in the movie, whatever that movie is. I love that movie. Anyway, show me the money. So I'm going to go through just a really quick income model, just so you can understand the power of leverage with our income model, with the Alliance income model. So I'm just going to base it on someone who does it part-time. Let's say they do 2 sales a week on a Saturday afternoon. Maybe they got 5, 10, 7 hours a week. If you make 2 sales a week and you sell for 48 weeks, you take 4 weeks off for good behavior, you're at 65% contract. These are the conservative numbers. You're going to make about 27,720 a year, based on maybe 7-10 hours a week of work. And your renewal income over 10 years, based on the work you did in this 1 year, will total about 14,616 total compensation, because a portion of the business you write will be permanent policies that will, extend through the life of the client. And I only cap it at 10 years. Some of these policies will go for the rest of the life of the policy, but I cap it at 10 years just to be conservative. So all this is really mega conservative. The real numbers are going to be way higher than this. But again, I don't want you to get too excited, because then you're going to run through the streets naked and we can't have you get arrested for that. All right. Because you got to be out there selling insurance. All right. So let's take Juan here. And he's got a couple people say, hey, Juan, I need to make some money. Juan, what do? I can't make my student loan debt. I've got student loan bills to pay. I got a car payment. I don't know what to do. And I don't feel like doing Instacart or Instagram or whatever those Insta things, or Uber or Lyft. So Smiley Girl gets in. Stella wants to get her groove on. She gets in and they commit. He goes, hey, you got 10 hours a week? And they go, yes, we do. Well, if you make 2 sales a week, you'll make my kind of money. Sounds good to me. Let's get in. And so they do 2 sales a week. So they get promoted to 65%. They're making 27 grand a year with 14,000 in for 10 years worth of renewals. And then Juan here goes to the 80% key leader level. Woohoo, everyone's making money. So Juan's money goes up to 50,000 a year, 35 in personal production and override income, 18 grand in override income, which to me is really cool. Then Stella, this is for both Smiley Girl and Stella. Then renewal income, you get override on renewals. What a concept, 25,200. So let's build the model up. So Stella and Smiley Girl want to move up too. Do they know a couple people? They sure do. Then what happens? Everyone moves up the promotion guidelines all the way to Juan at 85%. So what kind of money is he making? He's making 60 grand a year. Now check this out. 22,000 is in override income, which, think about it. He went from just himself to having a team of 6 people doing 7 to 10 hours a week. Now he's making in overrides almost what he made just doing it by himself. And then his renewals over 10 years, 28 grand personal production and overrides. So the other people down at the bottom say, how can we move up? They bring on a couple people from their warm market list. All these people are warm market. No one had to spend money on recruiting interviews or anything. So Juan moves up to the 95% regional manager level. And so Juan's making this kind of money, 113 grand a year. Overrides, by the way, 70 grand in overrides. Wouldn't that be cool to make 70 grand in overrides? Like, oh my gosh. I think you could afford a really awesome Christmas for your family with just 70 grand in overrides. Ah, that's so cool. I get so fired up every time I show this. Noel, I want to get in again. Can I sponsor myself again as another leg? No, but nice thought. 56 grand in renewals. And what happens is these 2, Smiley Girl and Stella, they want to go regional manager. So they go regional manager. They build a business of all part-timers. There's no one stepped up to go full-time, gang. They just want to do 2 sales a week. Juan's now at the VP level at 105. And then guess what? The glow bonus kicks in because he broke out 2 regional managers. And he gets another 8% override on their teams. Let me say it again. 8%. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 8% Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, on top of his overrides, which is what, 10%? So he's making 18%. Let's look at his income. Now he's at $301,000 because he's getting glow overrides plus the glow bonus, plus he's getting glow bonus on their renewals. Is that like trippy? Can you believe that? You get glow overrides on renewals too. That blows my mind. No one's gone full time. No one has gone full time. Can I say it again, Noel? No one's gone full time. It's it's called leverage. Okay? Now, look, if someone went full time, they did 22 grand a month or 25,000 a month of issue paid. bummer. Then you're going to make more money. They're going to make more money. Everyone makes more money. But I'm just, we're just sticking with part-timers, okay? So why the alliance? Well, because we have a system. Gang, show me the system. I showed you the money, and I'll show you the system. So what the alliance has done is put together our trusted partners. We've got 55, actually, I've heard the numbers like 75, 85, 110 insurance carriers we're with. I think the number's like over 55. Okay. I've counted it one time. My count was like 55, but you can say whatever you want. But these are our trusted partners, been in business, grade A companies, etc. So they put together all the contracts and all the arrangements and all the commission levels with all these trusted partners so you don't have to. Then they put together this training program through the ARC and the ARC portal and all the benefits and all the tools and a way to learn anything you want in this awesome alliance business. And then they sponsor lead programs to get you in front of clients that want to buy life insurance, right? They put everything together for you so you can build a business to the Alliance Integrity Group system, and it's the glue that keeps your business together. Imagine if all of you had to put together an infrastructure for your own business. Well, I hear people say, well, what if I just did it myself and I got a big 120, 130 contract, and it's like, dude, do you realize how much work you have to do to build the infrastructure that we have already? This is a turnkey system. When people ask you, Alex, I'm giving up contract level for joining the alliance, like, bro, let me ask you a question. How much money did you make last year with your 110% commission rate? Like, how much money did you make? Well, I made $50,000 a year. Oh, so you probably did that on what, 2 Saturdays a month? No. There's something wrong. There's a disconnect because, you got that contract level here. You'd be making, $750,000 a year with a group. I mean, seriously, gang, we have an infrastructure called the Alliance System, and it's the glue that keeps your business together. So you don't have to go run around, teach everybody everything. You can plug them into the things that we have. It's called leverage. So how does our building program stack up to other IMOs out there? Well, this is the coolest thing about the Alliance that virtually no other group has out there. You can override your agents in other states without needing a non-resident license. So if you're in Ohio like me and you had agents in North Dakota, okay, I don't know if they sell insurance in North Dakota. I don't think I ever had a North Dakota agent, and I think they've heard of life insurance up there. But if you don't have your non-resident license, but you had agents up there selling, guess what? You're making every dime of override without having a non-resident license. Here's the other thing. You can override agents with carriers that you're not personally contracted with. Is that cool? Like, for example, if you had agents in Florida writing Medicare and you could hardly spell Medicare and you're in Kentucky as your resident state, you can't even spell Medicare, right? You don't have any of the Medicare carriers, but you're going to make an override on all that business in Florida, even though you're not with any of those carriers. Is that cool? I hear an echo. Okay. Here's another one. Your overrides are also earned on your agent's renewals, like I said before. Is that cool? There's a lot of IMOs that you don't make any overrides on anyone's renewals, right? Here, we give you the overrides on that. Promotions are right away. In other words, if you had, 10,000 of pending business and you get a promotion, you're going to get paid when those policies get issued on your new promotion guideline, your new promotion level. That's pretty cool. We have a generous Medicare compensation. I'm not going to say it's the best in the country. I'm not going to say that because I'm not supposed to say that. But let me just say it's generous. You can earn commissions on managed money. So if you want to get into retirement planning with securities assets, you can get your securities license and be able to move into that. We've got a bunch of agents that have gotten their securities license and able to make money on managed money as well. And then, look, you don't have to be the expert. You just got to know the experts. And we have Chris Norris and Gina Hawks that could help you close annuity sales, IUL sales. Your upline, who's very smart, can hook you up properly so that you just identify the opportunity. We're going to help you close it. So you don't have to know everything. And then, man, don't take the ARC for granted. There are groups out there that you have to pay a fee for everything that the ARC offers. And our ARC offers way more than these other CRM systems that these other IMOs have. They charge like 75 to $100 for them. We charge you zilcho, nada, nothing. And we're continuing to improve it every day. So show me the money, show me the system. Let's show you the leveraged alliance style. Okay, what is leverage? Leverage is taking advantage of something that can do way more than you by yourself. Okay, like knowledge, leveraging people, leveraging events. This is the alliance system that will keep your business growing, continuing to grow beyond just you. And this is the Leventovich team. Like, if you never heard my name, you will continue to grow. And I'm like in the Bahamas somewhere, and I still get paid Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. When I hear all your paychecks, I get fired up because I get a little bit of piece of all that stuff Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Gang, it's called leverage. So let's talk about leveraging people. I started with my warm market. Who did I know? I knew Patrick and Suzanne Connors and Mike and Noah Leventovich and a whole bunch of other people. I showed this opportunity to them, and lo and behold, it made sense to them. Because look, gang, if this business makes sense enough for you to get in it, it is going to make sense enough to people that you know that are open-minded, right? So why do you hold an opportunity back from the opportunity of making an impact in someone's life? When I see Mike and Noel going on trips and doing all these great things in their lives and becoming partners with integrity, I just have such joy in my heart because I had a little something to do with it. I opened the door for them, right? I mean, gang, when you think of the impact that you have on other people's life and their children's life, I mean, gosh, it's mind-blowing. But I started with my warm market, right? My warm market. So I leveraged who I knew. All y'all have thousands of contacts in your phone. I'm sure that you will find a Mike and Noel Leventovich somewhere in your phone. Not the real Mike and Noel, because I got them already, but your version of a Mike and Noel. They're in your phone. I promise you, every one of you can find one of those type people. So if you've not gone through your entire phone list, then you are missing out. You are missing out on 8 figures of override income in the last 25 years. Can you imagine that, making 8 figures of, I mean, it's insane when you think about it, because most people won't make 7 figures their entire lifetime. And my override just on that organization is insane. So I start with my warm market. Here's the other leverage. My recruits warm market. So I bring someone on, I find out, who do you know? Because now you go beyond your sphere of influence into their sphere of influence. It's called building depth and helping when someone gets started and getting going, because you may not find a Mike and Noel on your direct, immediate warm market, but you're going to find them in depth through someone else's. And whether you find it through your own or someone else's, it still counts for you. Oh my gosh, it still counts. And then you leverage their recruits' warm market. So it's not only your warm market, right, but their warm market and their recruits' warm market. Do you see how that works? It's layer after layer after layer. So you're maximizing your opportunity through the law of large numbers, right? Through the law of large numbers, you can identify the couple that's going to take off. And all you really need really are 6 legs in width with one couple that decides they want this thing bad enough, like a Jake and Ray, like a Joseph and Venus Dukes. You're going to find someone who wants it bad enough that they're going to take off. And without you, with or without you, they're going to do it by themselves. You just need 6 legs of people that are duplicating you. If you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, that's all you need. You'll be a 7-figure income earner, all beyond your own ability to sell. I promise you, right? The other way to leverage people, once you get beyond your own personal warm market, there's a 3-foot rule. This is where you get to meet people along the way. How many people do you know Do you know more people than you know or than you don't know? Okay. Right. You know more people. You don't know more people than you know. So everyone you meet along the way is an opportunity to share this awesome alliance business with them, because you never know what you're going to catch when you offer it to people. It's like Patrick and Suzanne Connors came far in depth for me, because I hired a guy in the Amway business who gave me a list of name. That list of name led me to the guy named Dave Dawson, who led me to Air Force officer Marty White, who led me to Patrick Connors, who was an Air Force officer. Little did I know that I'd make 7 figures of override just on their team alone, right? And that was a 3-foot rule situation, through that's building depth through people. But you're going to find people, and you're going to find their warm market. So you get that person locked in when you find people they trust in their warm market underneath them. Again, it's called leverage. And then you have President's Club resources, and Mike and Noel they have interviewing resources, so we can get you in front of licensed agents to interview people that are open-minded to an opportunity, right? And now you've got armed with the knowledge of what you can offer them after watching this, after listening to this. Man, you got the goose that laid the golden egg, gang. They got resumes that you can look at and call. PropHog, which are a licensed agents database. You got virtual assistants in the Philippines and Bolivia that you can leverage your time with, that can screen all these databases to find people that are interested. We've got so many resources for you to get involved in leveraging people, because you can't be successful by yourself. Success always involves other people. Carl Jung, great psychologist, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are being transformed. Do you think that my life was transformed when I met Mike and Noel at an Amway meeting? They're plugging in from another Crossline person, and I was running the Amway meeting in Dayton. And all of a sudden, Mike and Noel show up. They were just buddies back then. They weren't boyfriend, girlfriend. They were drinking buddies. Of course, look where that turned out. But I never knew that. When I befriended them and welcomed to our meeting, little did I know. But I showed the business to them. Part of it was that, like I said, out of guilt. Well, whatever the motivation, man, you got to take advantage of it. And my life was transformed, as well as their lives were transformed. This is so true. So we leverage events. Look, man, you don't have to know anything. And you don't have to think that you have to be the greatest motivator to mankind. Okay? You don't got to motivate anyone to do anything. All you have to do is invite them, right? You don't have to know any. You just get into the events and let the events fire them up, right? Let the people fire them up. See, because the events have all the top people that are building the alliance, and they're all different races, different backgrounds, different ethnicities. I think I said that, races. Okay. Maybe they're the 400 meter, they do the mile, they do the 800. I don't mean that kind of race. But you know what I'm talking about? They're going to find people that they can relate to, because you're not going to relate to everyone. The power of the alliance is the alliance has everyone that anyone can relate to. They get on stage, Tara T. Edwards, right? And he starts going into his Baptist preacher mode. And you bring people that are into the Baptist preacher mode from that are part of the SEC conference. I'm just kidding. People from the South, they're going to say, amen, hallelujah. And you don't got to be doing that, because, I'm a Filipino California boy from Ohio. I can't do that. But let Terry Edwards do that and get your people fired up, man. It's called leverage. Have all the top people. See, all I did was get good at inviting. All you have to do is get good at inviting people to things. Just like you saw a great movie and you want to talk to all your friends about this great movie. Actually, one of the coolest series I got hooked was Stranger Things. Okay. I watched like all 4 seasons in 3 months. I'm into sci-fi / horror. I didn't know I'd like it as much, but I just love that You got to watch it. It's the coolest thing. Season 5, the second part of season 5 is coming out December 31st, so I'm just making a plug for that. But it is like the most awesome show. You just couldn't. You want to binge on it from episode to episode, it's from season to season. I mean, you'll get done with it. And I don't know if there's any redeeming qualities about it, but do you see what I just did? Now, some of you are thinking, I might have to check that out. That's all I did, man. Hey, you got to come out to National Conference. It's going to be off the chain. It's going to be the most exciting thing you'll ever see, because you were telling me you wanted to be free. You want to flush your stupid job. You want to bring your wife home from working for a boss. You're going to find your answers there. If that's important to you, man, you got to figure out how to get to National Conference in Dallas, because you will find that answer there. I promise you. So you appeal to what they're looking for. Anyway, get good at inviting. This is your key. This is why I've made so much money, because I was good at inviting. I invited Noel to come down to Raleigh, North Carolina with a van of 15 other guys. Actually, that's myth. It's like maybe 9 other people, but it's like grown to like 15, 20, 35 people in a van. We drove all night, and Noel got fired up. Her hair was on fire. When he got into the van to go home, we had to kind of douse it and, put it out. In fact, we saw a Mission Impossible movie. I think the first Mission Impossible movie on our way back home. We stopped at a theater. It was crazy. We probably should have kept going, but it was so much fun. We had so much fun. Anyway, get good at inviting. Everybody is smarter than anybody. Carl Sandburg. Do you get that? Everybody is smarter than anybody. That's the aligned system, because we take advantage of everybody's contribution to teaching and training and personalities and stories. You don't think you're writing your story? Gang, you are writing your story now. Every no you're encountering, every no-show you're encountering, everything you're going through, every struggle, there's a victory after that. And your victory story will be what will motivate someone that I couldn't, and that Noel and Mike couldn't, but it's because you did it. That's what's going to motivate, right? You're going to motivate my future team / my future income because of what you're going through right now, and writing it down to remember that's your story, and your story is mega important, right? Not that I'm, self-interested in keeping my business going, but I promise you, your story means something, so you got to hang in there. And then leverage knowledge. Look, you don't have to know anything. All you have to do is leverage the knowledge that's already been out there. Our carriers have a knowledge. The fact, when we got started, we learned from the carriers. We call them up and say, hey, sales support, I need to know how return of premium works. And then they'd spend time explaining it to you. We have this thing called RTFM. Read the effing manual. Okay. RTFM. There's so much at your tips of your fingers, so many resources, right? The Zoom calls that we offer you, if you're not on our line Zoom calls, you are insane. If you're not on the 11 Tovich Zoom call, there's like 64 people on here. You're insane if you don't take advantage of these opportunities. We've got audios and books at the Alliance Bookstore. You have Alliance University. We've got all these opportunities, but the most important is your upline. Who is your growing upline that can help you? Always check with them. Before you do anything, check with them. They're there to help you, right? Again, remember, they're your growing upline. Okay, so you know that they're plugged in. We can be knowledgeable with another man's knowledge or another woman's knowledge, but we can't be wise with another person's wisdom, right? Okay. So what do you do next? Well, if you're on this call, text style with your upline if you're brand new, so they can get into your warm market and help you build your business. Do the textiling thing. It works. We've done it. It's killer. Start with license interviews. Learn how to do that system. You're going to have to learn how to do that. Commit to never stopping recruiting. The 3-foot rule. Once you put that in practice, then never quit. Never quit building. Here's the thing. Every week that you go without showing the opportunity to someone is another 3 weeks added to your sentence of being a salesperson. Every week that you don't show the business someone adds another 3 weeks to your sentence of being a commissioned salesperson. All right? Fact. Keep that vision of freedom alive. You have to keep it in front of you all the time, because it is possible when you go to an event and see everyone that's doing it right now. You need to come to NatCon 2026, January 22nd to the 25th in Allen, Texas. You got to get there, man. You cannot build this business without being around the people, because number one, you have to be an example to your people. And how can you be an example if you don't go to where you're telling your people to go where you're inviting them to go?
We need to let Texas know that the alliance is in the house.
Ready to take over America, baby. Let's get ready to get crazy up in here.
In the year of 2025, we ain't stopping, baby.
Everyone's got a shot.
Let's blow the roof off. Tighten up your saddle and get your reins in your hand, baby, because we're getting ready to ride them, baby.
The power's inside me. It can't be in the world around me.
Are you winning over here? Are you winning over here?
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Gang, it's there for you. You got to pay the price. Not only the price of the ticket to get in, but the price of building a business, the price of going through what you have to go through in order to make sure that you build a business to be free, right? I'm talking about freedom, man. I'm talking about a future that you probably don't know that you have, but it's in the palm of your hand. It is in this business. And to have the lifestyle that we're talking about here, you're going to have to pay a price, but it's a price well worth it, because every benefit will outshine all the hard stuff that you've ever had to go through. I promise you that. I promise you that. So, Noel, thanks so much for letting me share this stage with your team. And it's my honor, and I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. I know you're working hard and always consistent in your thought process and doing what Alex does, what he's teaching today. So, that character thing is right there. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Let's go, guys. Let's go. It's in the palm of your hands, like Abian just said. Let's go get it. I'm getting mine. Let's get yours. Come on. Let's go. We'll see you next time.
You got it. Merry Christmas.